Today we're working on our Acura RSX. We're trying to finish it up for its new owner. We haven't really had a lot of updates for this car because it hasn't needed much. The main thing that we replaced was just these trunk struts. You can see work much better now. There's a trunk cover right here that's gonna get fixed. It's gotta get glued back together. Some light detailing, new front tires in alignment, and then the only thing left is this door actuator, because you have to use the key to move it up and down. You can't push it, and if you put the doors in lock, it periodically works, but very rarely. So we're gonna replace that today. First thing to do is get the door panel off. We'll start by going in here, pulling up on this tab to pivot this whole piece out and slide it. Best tool that I found for this is just one of these picks. You can get them at Harbor Freight for like $2. This one is like $10 from Home Depot. Take the 2 Phillips head screws out. With the screws out, this whole assembly will come out, and we just need to disconnect it. Start with getting this electrical connector taken off. On the door handle, we're gonna pivot this clip around so that we can pull this rod out. Also gonna take this Phillips head off. Take this trim piece off. This will let us slide the whole door panel up when we get the rest of the screws off. 2 more Phillips head screws here and here. This will pivot up, and then you can slide it forward. We're gonna disconnect these. To take the door panel off, use a panel trim removal tool, and you just come along the bottom of it, pop a couple tabs off. You can see there's some holes here for those tabs. And then you'll be able to feed the wires through for the door lock and the window control to take the rest of the panel off. Now we're gonna fix the actuator. As carefully as you can, you're gonna pull all the plastic off, trying not to rip it, work around any screws or clips as you peel it off. We are gonna wanna put it back on when we're done. These wires are what hold the electrical connectors for the door lock actuator. So we've pushed them back in, and now we just need to disconnect them so that we can take the whole assembly out. Now we're going to take the 3 screws off that hold the door lock actuator. Be careful not to strip these. You can see someone's been here before, definitely struggled with these screws. So we're going to have to be even more careful than normal. You want to typically get a Phillips head that fills the screw head. You see this little wiggle room, so get the one that fills it as much as possible to prevent that stripping. With these out, your door is not going to latch anymore, so if you need to call it a day doing this project, I would stop before you take these out. Alright, so now we got to deal with the exterior handle. So this clip, and then there's one back here, need to have the same thing done where they pivot the plastic piece and then slide the rod out. And then this window rail is in the way, so we're going to take the lower retaining nut out, which is right there. That'll let us bend it out of the way, slide the whole actuator out, and then we can replace it. Right, now the door mechanism is out. This is the part that we're replacing, so we'll have to disassemble it from the actual door latch and everything else. Make sure both parts match. You can see the part numbers are even the same. And to remove this, we'll want to loosen this screw. You can see there's just plastic retainers here, and this white piece here that'll have to be removed, and it should slide up off the assembly. So you won't be able to see anything when you test it, but you can definitely feel. We've plugged the motor back in, and then we've plugged the door lock in. And if you hold this with one hand, on the back of it, you'll feel the motor engage or fail to engage when you press the lock. If it's completely dead, you won't feel anything, but on this one, you can feel just a subtle movement. And then when we plugged our new one in, it's very obvious that this is clearly working and this one is not. So test your units before swapping in case there's something else here that's affecting the ability to lock and unlock. In this case, it appears to just be this. All right, we have our new piece on, and one of the issues we had when we were putting it in is this is the part that turns the actual door lock mechanism. And so this died halfway in between unlocked and locked. So what you want to do is kind of get it set in here. I pulled this piece completely off. Set this in here as much as you can, and then plug it back into here, and while just kind of holding gentle pressure, use the door lock, and then it'll either go further in the wrong direction or in the correct direction, and it'll set down You want to make sure that black piece is flush with the white piece right there. And there's another one on this side that's now covered by the metal. Once you get it in, make sure that it's working, that it does move the rod up and down, and from there you can reverse install it. With everything back together, we can now lock the car, unlock the car, and we can confirm the key lock still works. And we're going to press the door lock. Still works.